and then we'd give it back. And the best started to meet us, and we'd have eggs the next morning. We had fresh eggs, we made cakes, and the bread. The bread was good because, you know, pumpernickel in?
Yes.
Only those little black spits weren't
right.
They were bugs.
Boll weevils or whatever they
bugs.
Yeah.
But everything was powdered. Everything was powdered. Milk was powdered, potatoes, carrots, everything was powdered. You know?
Yeah, I had one of the guys that I've been corresponding with, his brother, the last name is Zarin, Joe Zarin. He was a 9th Bomb Squadron pilot. And he sent me a diary of one of the men who were on the crew, and that's what one of the things he mentioned was the bread had these little black specks. He goes, after a while we got tired of picking the specks out. We would just eat it anyway. They were cooked or baked boll weevils, I think they said.
Protein.
Yeah. But he said that was one of the first things he noticed when they were there, that you'd have to pick them out. But
well, the person I felt sorriest for over there was the mess sergeant. There was nothing he could do right. Everybody belly. I mean, complained. Oh, it's just terrible. And of course the flour was shipped over from the States in gunny sacks. You know, at the time we got it up there by rail car, boat, truck, you know, at the end of the line. And of course the CBI was, you know, they call that the forgotten thin.
Right.
When nobody else could use it, they would ship it to it. We used to get a ration each month. Our PX was about this size. There's nothing in it. Once a month we got a ration. The officers got a bottle of whiskey, and everybody got a case of beer. And the name of beer I'd never even heard of before. But anyway, out of 24 cans, you might get 17 or 18 had something like that. The rest of them, because they were metal cans, they rusted out.
Oh, really?
On the way up. So you take your cake, you turn it up on end, let it drain out. So I always took my case on and gave it to the enlisted crew member. And I gave them my bottle of whiskey, and they gave me some of their beer. And we in Tezport we had the ice plant, and the officers club and the NCO club and the airmen's club got 1 10-pound piece a day. One. So in the officers club we had these big metal tubs. You'd throw the ice in there, and there'd be a few beers in there, and you'd come in and put your beer in and take one out. Unfortunately, sometimes you'd take your same beer out that you put in, so it's still pretty warm. But it was even to this day, I don't know what I did in my spare time at this point. But then I didn't have much spare time. We were flying about every other day. But the ones I really felt sorry for was the bombardiers and gunners, because they were sitting out in the middle of the jungle with absolutely nothing to do. You know, and that was unfortunate. But the weather over that hump was terrible. We'd get lightning strikes. The able route was about 22, 23,000, 50, 60 below zero.
And a lot that stuff
and a B-24 had no heaters. Okay, and the nose turret had flaps. So the turret could turn, but the moist air would force it, and it would turn into snow.
Inside the...
and of course the bombardiers here, and that nice table was right here. And pretty soon I'd be standing at about 6 inches of snow in there, you know. And the lightning would be striking, St. Elmo's fire, all the antennas would be going like this, you know.
That's what I was going to ask you. You had seen that. You had seen that St. Elmo's fire guide. I read that was pretty...
You'd take off, go into the clouds, and you wouldn't break out the cloud if you were in China. And it was radio, but the static was too bad because of the weather. But we had what they called LORAN, Long Range Air Navigation, and they had that on the scope. But even then, these were night waves, which is the longest, but these little blips would be going. You figure out exactly what that. Your map has the lines drawn on it. See, and that helped. But you know, and of course, once in a while you could break the clouds. But the unfortunate part is, the rivers weren't where the map showed them.
Yeah, because the mapping was very poor at that time, right?
Map says here, the river was physically low. So each navigator had their master nap. and you draw in exactly where it was, not what it says on the map.
I see.
So,
There wasn't much mapping then. No one had spent any time mapping very accurately, right? So those planes were going through blind. They didn't know, like, well, especially during the clouds, right? You didn't know where you were, what mountains were there. You might run it, like guys ran into mountains and
no radar.
Yeah.
See that. So we were flying in a thunderstruck. We wouldn't even know that until we got in it.
Did you have
usually go up 1,000 or down 1,000?
And the downdrafts and the updrafts? I guess.
See the wings out there going like this, you know. But
and icing problems too, I guess, right?
Well, yes, but it wasn't acute. So we had the ice boots on the wings.
What were those? The icing boots.
It's a rubber thing. Has a thing. It makes it go like this.
Okay.
See, it's the ripples that breaks the ice on. But that was, well, it was a problem, but it wasn't. The major problem was just plain old turbulence, and the lightning strikes weren't too bad because you weren't grounded. So, but it was.
You were hit by lightning?
I can honestly say, out of my 24 years in the Air Force, over 5,000 hours, over 900 hours of combat, that was absolutely the worst flying I've ever been in.
Flying over the hump?
Absolutely, without question.
You had been in a ship that had been hit by lightning?
You what?
You had been on a ship that had been hit by lightning?
All the time.
Oh, okay.
But you're not grounded.
Okay, so it doesn't pass right.
It's good.
Now, did you have...
sometimes it could burn the skin.
Okay.
Once in a while, it hits a beam, it'll burn the skin. But you're not grounded, so it doesn't really make any difference.
Can you explain to my son what St. Elmo's fire, that...
Static electricity, you know, static electricity.
You see it on your clothes when you get out of the dryer, it makes that little sparks.
And touch a cat, here it goes up.
Makes your hair stick up.
St. Elmo's fire, see, we had a lot of antennas. Some were little antennas like that, some were cable antennas. And this static electricity, it'd go like this, and you see little blips be shooting up, be orange and red and
like
yellow.
Sparks coming up out of your...
So it in itself, it was not dangerous. I mean, it was not dangerous, but the problem is that it could, even being static electricity, it could burn some of the wires. See?
If there was any kind of a fuel leak or anything, or could that be a problem?
Well, obviously all of the antenna wires were covered, just like any insulated wire. You know, it was built for that purpose. But the problem was that you know, the plane is 2 or 3 years old. You know, it's been flying all over, and it's living in tropical rains and heat, and you know, it deteriorates.
Things fall apart.
And detected, you know, it could be replaced. But you know, the plane lands at Tedsport. The crew chief and the crew jump on it, clear any written up discrepancy, and the next day they're off flying again. And so, you know, they don't have much chance to, and of course at Tedsport, it's a terrible place, at Tedsport, you wake up in the morning, now it's cloud in the sky, you see the Himalayas right up there, beautiful thing, and then about 10 o'clock in the morning, you see the clouds building up. By 2 in the afternoon, it starts raining. It rained all night long.
And real rain, like pouring rain.
I appreciate the poor ground crew out there trying to work on this airplane, and it's pouring down rain, you know. And so, and because these planes, what I would call, they call it war warrior. They just been there forever. They were the old, many of them were the old D model. That's the glass nose that was modified to put a turret in there. So that was, you know, they were 3 and 4 years old, and they had countless thousands of hours on it. And the engines, you know, you imagine the crew chief working on an engine, you know, pouring down rain, you know, replacing spark plugs, and be sure you don't get any water into that place where the spark plug goes, you know, and of course, all planes in those days leaked oil. I mean, it was just a common thing. So how bad is the leak? You know, know. So you just go out there and you see oil dripping all over the place. And we had to pull the props through them because rotary engine, if there's liquid in the bottom and you cranked it, it'd be a liquid lock. You know, when you it hit that and it split a cylinder. So you had to pull it through so that all that would be diluted. Both on B-24s, B-29, and B-36s. But B-36s the engineer did, he could trick it.
So you'd have to pull them by hand, rotate them, the propeller?
B-24 wasn't bad. B-29 was a son of a gun. It had some big blades on it.
Yeah.
We had 1850, right patent, right, 1850 underneath, we had 3400s on B-29. Still proud with it. But the bottom of the prop would be here. Here would be the hub. And take 2 people on these blades, pull it through, and 2 more. Had to pull 12 blades. It's 2 complete revolutions of the thing to prevent liquid loss. But all planes, no matter what they are, even the V-36 drip oil. They all drip oil.
Do you want to take a little break, or are you okay? Keep. Okay.
I should shut it down.